Choosing the right weight when you first start out in strength training is really important. When you get these weights correct, it makes everything else going forward easy. So let's talk about how you do that. I'm going to use the example of a chest press, this motion, pushing out and back, to give the example of what I'm talking about. But this method works with resistance bands, it works with machines, it works with cables, it works with barbells, it works with dumbbells, any kind of piece of equipment. This method of finding the weight that you need to start with works. So let's start with dumbbells in a chest press. And the goal with this example is you're going to do 10 repetitions, 3 sets. And that's important, and I'll talk about that a little later on in this video. But right for now, let's start with that. You've got this exercise. It's been given to you. You've never done it before. You know the movement, you know the form, but you have no idea what the weight needs to be. Well, so the best way to start with it is to grab a weight that's going to be what you think maybe a little on the light side, maybe a little easy for what you need. So in this case, let's start with 5 pounds. 5 pounds is what you pick. So you grab 5 pounds and you do your 10 repetitions for that set. When you get to your 10th repetition, stop and ask yourself, how easy was that? Was it so easy that you could have done 10 more? In that case, it's way too light. And that's the example we're going to work with. 5 pounds was way too light. So you take your rest, you come back, the next time through, you're going to up your weight. Let's go up 5 pounds. You're going to go to 10 pounds this time. You're going to do 10 repetitions. This time you're not going to feel like you can get to 20. Maybe you feel like you can get to 15, maybe 12, and it's starting to get heavier. So you're still above the 10 repetition range. So that weight is wrong for this exercise at this repetition range. So the third set, this time let's push up again 5 more pounds. You're going to 15 pounds. You do your 10 repetitions, and you get to about 9. You feel like that's getting a little heavy. And then you get to 10, and 10's like, that's a little difficult. I can't maybe do 11, but probably can't. If that's the answer you get in this example with 15 pounds, then 15 pounds is the exact weight that you need for the chest press for 3 sets at 10 repetitions. Right? Do you see how you find that weight? And this works for all exercises. The downside is it takes a while. You're probably not going to be able to do this all in one sitting because you're going to get new exercises you're going to have to go back and do. But the good news is you really only have to do it once because you can write down your starting weight, 15 pounds in this case, and then you can always use that every time you come back. You can put that in and start from there. But the thing is you're not going to stay at 15 pounds. And if you're a beginner, you're not going to stay at 15 pounds for very long at all. So you're going to need to use this weight to go up. So let's go for that. Let's say you've done this for a couple weeks and you've got to the point where 15 pounds doesn't feel challenging anymore. So what you need to do then is up the weight, 20 pounds. But the problem is you probably can't do 3 sets of 20 for 10 repetitions. Not yet. It's your first time through. But that's okay. Start with the 20 pounds. Do your reps. When you get to 10, stop. It should be very difficult to do. Do your rest. Come back, second round. Do your 20 again. In this example, I'm going to say you get to 5 repetitions and then 20 is just you can't do anymore. Set it down, finish the set. You're going to do the last 5 with 15 pounds, and then the final set you're going to do with just the 15 pounds. So what you do here is you see how this is going. You're slowly bringing the 20 pounds into each of those workouts. So the next time you have a chest press with dumbbells, you go back, you're going to start with 20 again, and then maybe this time you get to 6 or 7 reps on the second time. And maybe the second time through you get to 2 sets of 10 reps of 20 pounds. The goal is to get to 3 sets of 10 reps of 20 pounds. That's when you know you've progressed to the next level of 20 pounds. So you continue that process. It's a slow process. It keeps you from injury and it keeps you going. So the key with this, when you think about it, everything I've told you, there's one thing you need to think about that makes you know that you've got the right weight. And the phrase you need to think about when you're doing this is difficult but doable. The last 2 repetitions should be difficult but doable for the weight you're using. And now let's talk about what I was saying earlier. I was very particular when I talked about 10 repetitions, 3 sets using this weight. Because it's going to be different if you have different repetition length. If you have 15 repetitions for the chest press in this example, The weight you're going to use is going to be lighter, obviously, because if you're using 15 pounds and 15 is difficult but doable at 10, you're never going to make it to 15. So you're going to have to drop the weight down. On the other side, if you need to do 6 to 8 repetitions, you're going to need the weight to be heavier. Again, because 15 pounds, you did 10, you're going to blow right through that 6 to 8 repetitions and go to 10. So you're going to have to go heavier. So when you're choosing your weight, you have to look at the number of repetitions that's been prescribed for you, whether you've done it or somebody else has done it. You need to understand that and then set your weight accordingly. So it's going to be a little different. And the other thing is aside is sets. You may get 3 sets in. You may be asked to do 5 sets or even 8 sets. It depends on the program. So it may be that your weight is going to drop as you go through the sets because you're going to become more and more fatigued. And that may be what you want to do, or you may need to start out slower. It depends on your goals and how it's been set up. But remember, it's not just the weight. It's also the repetitions and also the sets. I hope that made sense to you. And if it didn't, contact me. I'll try to explain it better.